Hi, Sherry. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you giving me some feedback. So we're gonna have a dive into your journey with me. So the first question is, what was life like before you started working with me? What challenges, pains, frustrations were you facing?
I just had near constant anxiety. And I had tried a lot of things for it. And I knew that it was related to my childhood trauma in part. And I had done some trauma healing work, but nothing had really resolved it. So life was very limited. I feel like I had trouble driving. Sometimes I had trouble leaving the house. I felt really uncomfortable in public places. Sometimes I had a lot of uncomfortable sensations in my body, like depersonalization, lots of self-esteem issues, just feeling really unsafe all the time.
Mm.
So that was, and I've spent most of my life with anxiety of some kind, but it had just gotten really bad. Um,
Yeah,
so so it like I feel like it had gotten better at times in my life and then worse. But when I came to you, it had gotten pretty unmanageable. So that's how it
yeah,
was.
yeah. And what was your experience as you went through your time with me, as you went through the program? Do you have any epiphanies or what
Yeah, I
happened for
think
you?
that, the best part about it was getting in touch with the parts of me that were traumatized. That every time we brought up so we at the beginning talked about my main issues or my main concerns, and so each session we would address one of them. And then what would happen is my subconscious mind would bring up an image or a memory of some kind that it connected to the issue we were working on. And then we did a whole process to kind of rescue the child part, or so in one case it was actually an adult part, um, and work with that part. And then I would work with that part after our session. And I think just realizing, like, making connections between things that had happened to me as a child that I almost didn't remember,
Mm.
or in some cases, like, um, or that I remembered but I didn't understand the impact of. So that was really powerful. And to be very specific, I've experienced childhood sexual abuse, but I had never had visual memories of my sexual abuse. So I doubted myself a lot. And in two of our sessions, I had some kind of visual image appear that was related to sexual abuse. So that gave me a lot more confidence that this had really happened to me. And I know it happened to me. I know deep down, but there was always this doubt, this doubt, this doubt that maybe it didn't, maybe it didn't, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I made this up. And when we did the hypnotherapy, there were, yeah, two instances where I had visual memories of some kind come up. So that was very validating for me.
Mm.
And then just having the ability and the awareness to work with these parts of myself that were traumatized. I think I've really deepened in my inner child work since I started working with you. So I'm very, very conscious of my inner child and how they're feeling. And in each session, we would talk specifically about how, what exactly they were feeling, what they needed, and put them in a safe place. And then I could work with them on my own. So I feel more compassionate with myself now because I understand these parts better. And I had done some inner child work before, and I had done some parts work before, but this really deepened that for me, so that now, um, I'm just much more aware of my inner child parts, and able to work with them and kind of soothe them in ways that
Mm.
I just wasn't able to before. And that's probably been the most powerful piece of this for me. Just
Mm.
the parts work aspect of it, and being able to do that work on my own after
Yeah.
sessions, because the sessions were very powerful, but then being able to just continue, like, to know what to do after the sessions to help myself. has been really helpful.
Right, yeah. So looking back at the things that you first felt were a huge problem when we started to work together, what's changed for you now, Sherry? What things have changed?
Well, as we were talking about, I still have some anxiety for other reasons than my trauma. So I'm going through perimenopause and I've had some medication changes. So I'm still dealing with some anxiety. But before those things kind of came to a head recently, I was driving again after our sessions. I was feeling much more comfortable walking around the neighborhood. I mean, when I first came to you, I could barely cross the street. Like I always had anxiety about crossing streets. So that was something specific. I was able to do that really easily. I just had a better like a deeper sense of safety in my body. So, and I think understanding why I was so anxious helped, just really getting in touch with the trauma. And so again, all of that inner child work has just helped me to feel safer. So I know what to do when I'm feeling unsafe. I know how to soothe those parts of me that are kind of acting out or um so I have tools now for when when the anxiety does flare, I know how to kind of address it. So
Oh,
yeah, so the driving got better, just being out and about, not as agoraphobic, um, just generally a deeper feeling of safety in my body.
lovely. Yeah, thank you. And finally, Sherry, what would you say to somebody who's going through a similar situation to that which you were when we first started working together? What would you say to them?
I would say that there's hope, that there's a way through your trauma and anxiety. There's absolutely hope. And there are so many different tools out there, but I had used a lot of them, but I think until I started doing the hypnotherapy, I wasn't getting to the root of things. I wasn't able to kind of root out the trauma, like really get to the parts of me that were operating me unconsciously. Um, so I think hypnotherapy has a way of getting you to the root cause and giving you tools to work with that root cause
Mm,
so that you can actually resolve the source of the anxiety. So that's what I would say, that there are definitely a lot of different tools out there to help with anxiety, but that getting to the root cause is the only way to really resolve it. And I think hypnotherapy is very powerful for that.
yeah, cool. And working with me, what would
Oh,
you
I
say
love
about that?
working with you, Sarah. You're just what you're warm and you're kind and um you just have this automatic way of getting to the issue and then guiding me through the process and making me feel at ease. And I mean, it's been wonderful working with you. Just wonderful. I've loved every second of it. Yeah. So
Ditto. Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you for sharing this and really
sure.
appreciate you. Mwah. Thank you so much, my love.
Ah,
Thank you.
you're so welcome. Thank you.